Congratulations, you want to start yourself your own crochet business. And I'm glad you're here because today we're going to talk about the very first step, and that's how to name your crochet business. Hi, I'm James DeLong, the founder of Savvy Kingdom and the Crochet Masterclass training series. Today I'm going to talk to you about how you should name your crochet business and why it matters. What I'm going to tell you right now is high level. So I want you to think of this as a big overview that we're just, 35,000 foot view, and then I'll let you break it down. And the reason why I'm telling you that and explaining it to you in this way is because right now, this point, you're starting a business. So some of the stuff that I'm saying to you may not sink in right now because you're not there yet. However, once your business grows, if you ever decide to go back to this, or just if this sinks into you right now, perfect. But if it's not, don't worry about it, but I'm telling you, just trust the process of the things I'm going to teach you. So when I say think of your end game, I want you to think of your business as something that if it were to be sold to another company, somebody likes it, say a big yarn company, yarn brand wants to buy you out, that they can buy your assets. And when I say that, I'm saying assets meaning your logos, your branding, your assets, your patterns, your designs, your personality, like whatever it is that you sell, that's a part of a package, that's part of your crochet business. So even though this video is called how to name your business, how to name your crochet business, there's a lot more thinking that goes into it. And I don't want you to be the same, like stuck in the same rut that I see a lot of people. And I say that because I actually run a group and we do a post every Saturday. It's called Sell Your Stuff Saturday. And I allow the members to go ahead and post the name of their pages or their business, their whatever stores they have on there. And I can tell you there's a very common thread or theme that I see, and that's they call their business whatever X their name. So it'll be Crochet by James, Handmade by James, Designs by James, and it's all the same stuff. And to me, that's not unique enough. That doesn't give me any type of branding personality for, like, give you an example. When I say high level, so I want you to think, so I'm going to break it down with my business so you can understand this, and we're going to talk about the end game. So if I decide I want to sell Savvy Kingdom later, Savvy Kingdom, if you guys know the story, Savannah is my daughter. That's her name, Savvy, so that's her nickname. This is something I started because I said crocheting is her world. I'm just living it, so Savvy Kingdom. Now, however, you could take that Savvy Kingdom and just think of Savvy as being the word savvy and just kingdom. That's just a brand. So it doesn't necessarily have to tie to her, even though that's the story in the background of how I started. So if I want to sell Savvy Kingdom, I can do that, and it's not Crochet by James that I'm selling. So if somebody wanted to sell, like for instance, I have some hooks, I have some needles, I have some stuff with my branding on it, I can sell it to another company that wants to buy it. However, here's the thing. When I say about naming your business, and again, we're talking about thinking of the end game, I want you to think of it, because if you can think of it as something you can sell off later, it's going to make you think differently right now of naming your business, so that if you want to pay for advertisement, you want to do whatever, you can scale your business really fast. And actually, the most important thing I want to tell you is the names doesn't really matter. And this is weird. Why am I telling you that? Because think about this. What is Amazon? How did that become like one of the largest selling platforms in the world? What does Amazon mean really? Like they first started off by selling books, and now they're selling everything under the sun. What is, just think of Walmart's the person's name, but I'm trying to think of local business, like local stores to you. Trying to think of something that just makes no sense. Google. What is Google? I mean, that's just, it's a number. So that brand is what they built it out to be, and it's their business. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your name. However, like Savvy Kingdom is my Google. Savvy Kingdom is my Amazon. So it's just that brand. Now, when I talk to you about your business later on, I'm going to teach you how to have sub-content, like a sub-headline, a tagline, and that's going to make a big difference into your business. So for instance, if your business was called, just say, Greystone, just pick up something random. Red knife limited, whatever. It doesn't matter. You don't have to sell a knife. You just call it whatever you want. Like if you watch the beginning of movies, you'll see the pictures of the names. You'll see Paramount Pictures or Lightning, whatever. That doesn't tell you they're selling crochet items. It's not telling you anything like that. It's just a name. So the thing is, I want you to think of that aspect. However, your tagline and the branding you do underneath that would make such a big difference. For instance, the end game that I have for now is I have Savvy Kingdom is kind of like my umbrella, right? So I want you to think of your business name as your umbrella, and then you're going to have multiple branches underneath. And I know I'm going very meta, I'm going all over the place with this because again, I want you to watch this video again so you can understand, you know, the concepts of what I'm thinking or what I'm saying, so that way it'll sink in later. Again, right now this might not make sense to you, like, well, you just told me to put a name that's something a little bit crazy or whatever, that doesn't make sense. So again, you're not calling it Crochet by James, Crochet by Jamie, Crochet whatever. Just call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it, again, Yellow Rock, or just it doesn't really matter. But the thing is, it has to, the tagline, the subheadline is what makes people know what your brand is about. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's what the main thing I want you to think of is think of your big picture, the end game of how you can sell this if you want to later. That way you can expand on this. Now that you have that in your mind, the next thing to think of is it easy to say? Is it easy to spell? Is it easy for someone to find your domain name? Do you have name? Do you have numbers in it? Is there certain characters or hyphens or whatever? These are the things you got to really think of. You don't want to put numbers in your name. And I say that because, like, say for instance, if you want to call your business Crochet 88. Now, is it the word spelled out 88 or is it number 88? So certain things like that, if that's your year of birth or whatever you want to put on there. You know, I'm just giving you examples. You don't want to put numbers in there. You want to stay away from that. You also don't want to have a really long name. So again, what is Amazon? What is Google? Short names, short things. And you'll see later on, we talk about branding in one of our other videos here that we have. But when I talk about branding, you want to keep it really short. And once you start talking about logos and stuff, have you not noticed, or I want you to think about this now that I'm bringing this up. Most of the branding you see with businesses, with these cool names, whatever, a lot of their logos are just text. It's not really like a fancy design, fancy, crazy graphics, whatever. It's just a logo. So I want you to think in your head right now, what is Google? It's fonts. It's just the word Google, different colors. What is Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola's got a certain fonts. Now, they also have some subtext, like graphics. They might have like for instance, Walt Disney. You know the Walt Disney word, the world, it says Disney with the, you know, the certain graphics, but they also have their, you know, the kingdom in the background. They have the Mickey Mouse ears. They have certain things like that. So there's a lot of things they can do, but for the most part, I want you to think of something that's short, easy, that people can know and recognize. And then here's the thing is, once we start talking about that, how easy it is for someone to recognize and say your name, you want to make it that it's searchable. So it's going to be something that's totally different. You don't want to use a name that's, you know, if I type it in, that I don't know it's you. So if your business was called, again, we'll just say, we'll stick with the same thing, Yellowstone. If I type in Yellowstone, well, there's the park, there's a lot of different stuff. So you kind of want to make it something unique. And again, you don't want to be Crochet Stone or nothing like that. Don't put the word crochet in it at all. By any means, I'm just telling you, this is just something I'm really expressing. Don't put crochet in it. Now, the thing is, when we talked about earlier naming your business, there's a big difference between naming your business and naming your assets crochet. So for instance, my business is Savvy Kingdom, but I have a Facebook page called I Love Crocheting. It's two different things. My brand is my Savvy Kingdom. My Facebook group is called I Love Crocheting. Why? Why did I do it this way? Well, because I'm still branding Savvy Kingdom when I talk about my business inside there. However, if you're just new, you're just starting out, I'm going to show you, I'm giving you tips right now that, again, I want you to watch this video again to start seeing where these little nuggets I drop. Because, for instance, if you're doing a search right now for Savvy Kingdom, you never heard of it today until you watch this video. So you have no idea what that is. So are you going to search for Savvy Kingdom on any Google, Facebook, or YouTube? No, because you don't know what that is. Unless I build such a big brand, I'm in your face everywhere, that you finally see, like, what is this? What is this? Then it'll make sense. But for right now, I want you to think of the name of your business, which is going to be a byproduct, like a byproduct of your branding. So for instance, if I type in crochet, I would like to see something that pops up. I like crocheting, I love crocheting, or something like that. But that's the name of the page. That's not the name of my group. So that example I just gave you is really important for you to think of. So yes, my business is called Savvy Kingdom. However, I'm going to give you an example right now. You've probably seen this before. When you're watching television, you're going to see a commercial for, say, let's just say for lawyers, attorneys, whatever. Well, sometimes it's their name, you know, DeLong and DeLong, or whatever their person's name is. But the smart ones actually make it forthepeople.com, or they'll give us some type of, you know, accidentlawyer.com. Even though accidentlawyer.com is not the name of their business. Their name of the business is, you know, James, whatever, and Sons, whatever the name is, it doesn't matter. But I kind of want you to understand that concept. So they're searching for, attorney, lawattorney.com. So the business doesn't have to be called lawattorney.com. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Name your business something kind of like vague, generic, and I say that in a way so that you can still understand, you can sell this off later, you can have businesses underneath. So I'm telling you that right now. Again, I know I like to do this when I talk to my friends, and obviously you're one of my friends because you're watching this with me, but I want you to think about this. So my brand is Savvy Kingdom, and I have a DBA right now. I'm getting into the business of not just selling crochet items, but I don't think of, when we talked about branding, I talked about in another video, and I always bring these two together because I want you to watch the other videos on my channel as well, because I want you to get a big picture and understanding. So the person that I'm selling to is not just a person that loves crochet. They're not buying a crochet item. They don't care what my crochet item is. They want their problem solved. So I want to look fashionable. I want to look nice. I want to have something that's going to be, so think where I'm going. I want to look fashionable. I want to be warm. I want to feel nice. I want to go out where it's snowing, and I want to have, my neck covered. What am I looking for? Does it necessarily need to be crochet scarf? No, it's just a scarf. I'm looking for a scarf. So don't put the word crochet in it. Nobody cares that it's crocheted. They don't care that it's handmade with love. They want a scarf that's going to keep them warm, or me. They want a scarf that's going to keep me warm, fashionable, or whatever it is. So I know I'm going a little further than what this video is about, because this video is about naming, but I want you to, again, I try to give you this big overview so you can understand, and that way you can start understanding, well, now I kind of see what he's talking about. I don't have to put crochet in it. You don't. You can just say, my business sells modern blankets. So you can be modern blankets, whatever it is you want to sell. So your business can be called, again, let's just look at, just pick up any device, rednote.com, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a note, but that's your business name. So your business name is like Red Note. And then you sell modern blankets, modern design blankets, or monochrome blankets, or whatever it is that your niche is. And we talked about that in the branding. But again, this is something that's really important that I try to tell people when it comes to naming. Don't think too hard of it. And the reason why I'm doing this long video is because I really want you to understand all the different avenues and aspects of it. So again, start off with thinking your end game. Can you sell Red Note? Can you sell Yellowstone? Yes. Can you sell Crochet by James to somebody named Tony? Probably not. That's what I'm telling you about. And I want you to think about it in that aspect. And also, when you have this business, I'm not talking about this right now because this is, again, I like to go all over the place because I want to give you the big pictures. And what I've done in the past is some of my students, I tell them certain things, they don't understand why I tell it to them. It was like I was making short videos or just short like trainings, like do this here. And the thing is, once they did it, it worked for them, but they didn't understand why. So the reason why I decided to make this YouTube channel is I want to give you the why. Because once you understand the why, not just, hey, I told you to name this way. I want you to understand the reason behind it so it makes sense to you. Okay, now I see why he's telling me to do this. So take, for example, the whole thinking of your end game. Well, the person that I'm selling to, we talked about our niching in another video. That person that I'm selling to is looking for a scarf, which is me. So what else would I be looking for? What's the next thing? Maybe I might be looking for a beanie. I might be looking for gloves. I might be looking for like a lap blanket. I might be a camper. So who's that person you're marketing to? That's who you need to be selling to. You don't need to be selling your specific pattern or your certain project, whatever it is, your commission piece. You're not selling that project. You're not selling that pattern. You're selling the problem that can be solved by your project or whatever it is. So I'm looking to be out there camping this weekend. I want to look awesome. I want to feel comfortable. I want to make sure that I stay warm. Who can solve that problem for me? Well, guess what? Blank, blank, blank has it. So that's you. That's where you come in, and that's where I come and buy your stuff. So hopefully that you got a big understanding of the thinking of the big picture. And again, just to throw it down to you one more time, your person that you're selling to. So if you're doing, again, let's talk about Red Note. You're doing Red Note. Who's the person you're selling to? They're looking for, what's this person looking for? So think about that. And again, this is something that I have to dive deep in with my students when I do my one-on-one consulting. I tell them, it's like, okay, so who's this person you're talking to? What's the What's the next thing they're buying? Who is it they buy for? Where are they at? Where are they on YouTube? Are they on Facebook? So you got to think about all these different things. So, but the part that I'm going to right now with naming your business is calling it something simple. Don't throw crochet in it. Think of the end game. All right. So one more thing I wanted to mention when I talked about being unique, I also want you to think of the end game, and I also want you to think of how can you make it so that your name makes somebody want to be a part of it. And what I say by being a part of it is think of this as, we'll say fashion statement wise, because this is really important if you understand this part of branding. Well, it's not really branding, it's still your business name, but it's part of the branding aspect. Will I ever wear a shirt that says Crochet by James if I'm not James? Probably not, because it's not something I want. But now think about it. Why do people wear a shirt that says Under Armour? Why do people wear shirts that say Polo? Why do people wear shirts that have the Nike symbol? Why do people wear Supreme or whatever brands, whatever they want, Chanel, whatever brands? Why do people wear those brands? Because it has some type of branding to it that makes people feel a certain way. They show a certain status or whatever. So think about your brand in a way that somebody would want to wear or show off that they're part of this business. So for instance, with my brand, Savvy Kingdom, we're all royalty. So instead of the normal happy hookers, which most people call themselves, a happy hooker could be anyone. It could be a knitter, it could be a crocheter, it could be any business or anybody that's doing crochet calls himself happy hooker. However, my branding, my business, I decided to go with royal hookers. So not saying that you would wear it, but would you wear a shirt that says royal hookers? Now, I could have changed it because I know some people get offended to the word. I'm not using hookers as in a bad word way. I'm using it as a hooker as a person that hooks. But say, for instance, if you wanted to call yourself a maker. So because we have royal, the Savvy Kingdom, that's all royalty. I could also say, hey, you're a royal maker. So people that go through my programs, I can say, once you finish, congratulations, you're a royal maker. They would be proud to wear a shirt that say Royal Maker. Well, I hope they are. I hope they would be proud to wear it. But again, I want you to think about that. Would I wear your brand shirt or your brand name on my shirt? So if it says Red Note, I could probably wear that. If I knew that Red Note stood for, whatever it is that you're passionate about, your mission statement. If I had a shirt that said Road Note, that's kind of cool. I would wear that. But if it said Crochet by Jamie or, Lisa's Crochet, Lisa's Handmade, I really wouldn't wear it. And I'm just telling you, this is from the brand standpoint. This is from big marketers. This is something I've been studying my whole life. And I can tell you right now, it's really important that you sway people to be part of a group. And just to give you an example, think of famous musicians. So, for instance, what do people call themselves that listen to the Grateful Dead? Deadheads. If you didn't know that, that's a term. What do people call themselves that are fans of Taylor Swift? Swifties. So I'm just thinking in my head, yes, I know some of this. I have a daughter and I have a son. Justin Bieber, his fans call themselves Believers. So what would somebody want to call themselves to be part of your business, part of your brand? So that's the last tip that I want to talk to you about, is actually branding yourself in a way that you can make people want to be part of it. So I'm going to ask you right now, which of those 2 tips that I've given you so far, think of your end game or having something easy and unique to make people want to be part of it, which one of those 2 are you going to concentrate on? Let me know below if you got any good value from those. Please let me know. You're going to work on your end game first, or are you going to worry about thinking of how somebody can be part of your tribe or your brand? Let me know about and put a comment below. All right, so now that you have an idea of what you need to start thinking of, I have one bonus tip that I want you to do. And this is actually, I love doing this. This is an action step I want you to do. So as soon as you get a chance, write down at least 4 or 5 different business names, and then go ahead and check on it to see, make sure that nobody has the .com. So if your business is called Red Note, make sure that nobody has rednote.com. Make sure nobody has it on Facebook, YouTube, or whatever the platform is that you're going to be on. Make sure nobody else has that, because you want to be able to brand yourself that if people type it in or search for you, that you'll be the first one to show up for it. Now, the next thing I want you to do is, once you have that done, I want you to go ahead and ask your family members. Say, hey, there's some ideas, and these some names. I saw some marketing names here. Or actually, I don't even want you to tell them that, because if it's coming from you, they're going to have an idea. It's crocheting. So I want you to do is say, look, hey, these are some names that I saw here. What do you think of when you hear this name? Red Note, or like something like Yellow Mantis, or whatever it is. And I like to use names and colors, so it's just random stuff that I come up with. But whatever it is you come up with, ask them, what do you think that company is? Do you think it's upscale? Do you think it's cheap? Do you think it's luxurious? What is it? Does it give you like a cheap feel? Does it sound cool? I mean, what do you let them come up with, like, if they have no idea about it, and again, they haven't watched this video, so they don't understand what I'm teaching them, but it'll give you a better understanding. It's like, if I heard you called yourself, like, sloppytoad.com. What the heck is sloppy toad? That sounds disgusting. That sounds cheap. So you don't want to have that kind of name. So obviously, again, it could be very vague. It could be something, again, I went with what worked for me because I wanted to be part of Savannah's life. I wanted this to be her business when she gets older. And also Savvy Kingdom, I just thought it was cool because I could build a kingdom around it. I'm the king hooker around this place. So it works with my branding. It works with my business. And if I do want to sell Savvy Kingdom later, it's not, James, whatever. And again, I use specifically that word savvy because I know it's not necessarily a name as well. So hope you enjoyed that. And again, for those that are just watching us for the very first time, if you haven't taken my free training, I have a free training right now. It's the Royal Seller Masterclass, and it's going to teach you actually more of this kind of stuff. And in fact, it's got the free training. So go to royalsellermasterclass.com. You get a free training on there. You're going to learn a lot more about this, learn about your branding, learn about more of the stuff. So if you're learning how to do your business name right now, you're definitely going to want to watch the other stuff. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.